Hey guys, Ray here. Today we've got the Sony Xperia 1 and the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus here. It could be easy to find a phone with 3 cameras nowadays, but then it's definitely not easy to find 2 phones which can practically do the exact same thing when it comes to the purpose of each of the cameras. Like the Huawei P30 Pro's got a 5x optical zoom telephoto lens, which can also zoom up to 50 times maximum, which is pretty much on a league of its own. But not until now I can compare 2 phones completely fairly, that both of them's got a 12 megapixels main camera, 2x optical zoom lens and an ultra-wide-angle lens. While despite all those similarities, actually there are some variation as well. For example, the Xperia 1's got a 5-axis optical image stabilized main camera and telephoto lens as well. And then the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus got a wider ultra-wide-angle lens, variable aperture on the main camera. It also shoots 4K videos at 60 frames per second. But then here on the Xperia 1, you've got a way more superior 1080p stabilization video recording experience, and it also shoots super slow motion video 960 frames per second at 1080p Full HD compared to 720p HD quality here on the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. We can absolutely keep talking, but then today's video we are gonna mainly focus on daylight photography, low light photography and video recording experience. Only by considering the main camera and under good lighting conditions, we can already say that the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus and the Xperia 1 shoots pretty much completely different images. The S10 Plus tends to boost color saturation, brightness, but at the same time it delivers an arguably wider dynamic range, especially when it comes to scenes like these, when the Xperia 1 didn't activate the backlight mode, but actually is needed to be activated. The S10 Plus has done a much better job in retaining all the details in the highlights, but when it comes to scenes like these, when we directly point the camera towards the sun, dynamic range on the Xperia 1 is actually not bad at all. The entire image is actually a little bit more dynamic and livelier on the Xperia 1 as well. That the green is more true to life, so as the blue as well. Everything on the S10 Plus is just oversaturated. From this particular set of photos, we can also see the differences in the white balance as well as the dynamic range. Actually, most of the time, the Xperia 1 delivers warmer images with a reddish tint to it, while the S10 Plus tends to deliver cooler images with a greenish tint to it. For this particular set of photos, we can actually see that the entire image is way more true to life and natural on the Xperia 1. The trees and the grass, the flower as well, the colors just on point. While on the S10 Plus, the entire image is like bluish, greenish. Also, when we zoom into the details, we can also distinguish like different shades of white and also the pink as well on the Xperia 1. Dynamic range and the level of details are arguably the same. But then the image signal processing on the Xperia 1's simply way more superior than that on the S10 Plus. Every time when we zoom into the detail, especially on the leaves and trees, you can literally identify each of the leaves or maybe the grass on the Xperia 1.
When there's no hope hiding, no chance concealing what deep down I felt for you. Oh, I regret for losing the one who loved me, for who I can't go back to. Walking through all the dust and reason frame a past we simply let fade. But I don't close the door.
When it comes to the ultra-wide-angle lens, the difference in terms of the detail, the sharpness of the images, is even more significant. Even under broad daylight, the ultra-wide-angle lens on the Xperia 1 is already delivering way sharper images and way more detail than that on the S10 Plus. I believe I can take a rest here. The photos will say the words on their own.
You always searching for a better thing, wanna replace me. I'm in a place that I've never been. It's worse and lonely. Cause someone tell me they see good in me. There's good in me. Cause I got doubts, I got doubts, I got doubts.
As the suns shrunk below the horizon, that the lighting conditions become more challenging. The sharpness of the images taken by the Xperia 1 in low-light conditions just mind-blowing. The raw noise reduction technology on the Xperia 1's taken its image quality onto the next level. Even in challenging scenes like these, and on the main camera, just the main camera, we can already see a lot more details on the Xperia 1's image. There was a time that I thought the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus taking some really sharp and vivid, bright photos in low-light conditions. But now the Xperia 1 shoots some really bright, sharp, vivid photos in low-light condition. The sharpness and the level of details just on another level. I believe I can take a rest here again and enjoy the rest of the gallery. The Xperia 1 is definitely one of the best camera phones on the market right now in terms of sharpness, detail, and color reproduction. The main camera on the Xperia 1 delivers slightly sharper images with slightly more detail, but then the ultra-wide-angle lens on the Xperia 1's on another level. The sharpness, detail and color reproductions simply the best I've seen on any smartphone. If you think you are gonna take a lot of photos with the ultra-wide-angle lens, then go for the Xperia 1. It's definitely the best out there.
I got doubts, yeah. On your phone, your final words on a piece of paper. I don't love you anymore. Tell me there's good in me. Cause I got doubts,
All in all, for photography, the S10 Plus tends to deliver brighter images with higher saturation and vibrancy. We can also see the artificial sharpening effect on the S10 Plus as well. But then the Xperia 1's got a way better image signal processing algorithm. Colors are just simply more dynamic and true to life. The level of detail and sharpness, especially when we zoom in, is way better on the Xperia 1. Alright, move on to video recording capabilities. First thing first, the S10 Plus is way more superior when it comes to 4K stabilization. I was basically just holding the phone like that. On the S10 Plus, I can basically already take a footage that seems to be stabilized with a gimbal. But then on the Xperia 1, the main camera, when I'm shooting at 4K, the stabilization effect on the Xperia 1 is kind of unacceptable, to be fair. However, when it comes to 1080p, that's another story. The 5-axis optical image stabilization together with the electronic stabilization on the Xperia 1 simply take video capturing experience, bare hand video recording experience onto the next level. I can literally run and holding the phone like that. You still the footage is stabilized with a gimbal. Not to mention it also shoots 1080p 960 frames per second Full HD super slow motion video footages, as well as the Cine Ultra powered Cinema Pro app. So it's the end of my video today. Hope you all enjoyed watching my video today and like it if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. There will be more videos like this coming up soon, so stay tuned and get subscribed. See you next time.